Hello, this is Jamie Magrich. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'd like to show you how to make this card. The peekaboo window in there. I did make one change. You'll notice on this card that it has 3 different pieces. It has this piece that goes from here to the front of the card. It's got on the second piece that goes from the front of the card to here, and then another piece that goes from here to the back. So it's 3 pieces. I like this card. It's very easy to make. However, when you go to open it, this catches on this seam here. So I came up with another way to do it. It's going to have a seam here on the inside, but if you cover that with designer series paper or ribbon, you're not going to notice it anyway. So that's what I'm going to show you today. So let's get started. I'm going to start with a full sheet of designer's cardstock. This is thick. I'll bring in my trimmer. The first thing I'm going to do is cut it in half long ways. So at 4 1/4, I'm going to cut it in half. Okay, I'm going to take one of those pieces and I'm going to cut it to 8 1/4 inches. The other one will stay the 11 inches. Okay, come on, open. Thank you. Because I'm on camera, can't get it to work. 8 1/4 inches. 8 1/4. There we go. And now this piece can be used to stamp on. Alright, I'll close this down. Alright, so on the smaller piece, the only score on it is at 5 1/2 inches. So we'll go, this is 5 1/2 inches, we'll go right to that 5 1/2 inches, and we're going to score it. Okay, place that aside. We'll bring in the 11-inch piece. We're going to score it at 1 1/4 inches and 5 1/2. So at 1 1/4 inches, make sure it's straight. And scooch it down to 5 1/2. Okay, we'll put our trimmer away. Alright, we're going to burnish those folds. On the long one, the one fold is going to fold in. Try to line up those corners if you can. Burnish it. This piece is going to get folded back. Okay. And this one is just going to get folded in half. Or not in half, but on itself. Okay. So for this card, all we're going to do, this is going to be it looks like this should look like this. Okay, that's going to be the back side of the card. This one's going to be the front side, and this little flap is going to be the one that slides in and inside the card. So what you're going to do is put it down so that tuck that little flap inside. You're going to line up this folded edge with this straight edge here on the card. Put it down so you can see. Fold it probably would help. Just line that up, okay? And we're going to open it up. Make sure that's still lined up. And we're going to put glue on this flap here. I'm going to use the Tombow But you can use tear and tape if you wish, or something even stronger, whatever you choose. It's a mechanism that's going to make the card work. Okay, and then fold this piece down. Just make sure that this edge is all lined up. You can trim this edge off, but you can't trim this folded edge. Okay? And that's the basic mechanism for the card. Okay? So now, we're going to tuck this piece out for a minute. Okay. I remember how I did this. Okay, we're going to fold it like, take those ends out, and these two, this top flap and this centerpiece, we're going to bring in our 2-inch circle punch. We're going to slide it into the circle punch. We want to keep this edge flush against the punch, push it in as far as it'll go, and punch. It may take a little bit of strength because it's going through 2 layers. There you go. If it's easier, go through 1 layer and line it up and go through another layer. Okay, so that's the basic mechanism for the card. Okay, so now we're going to do the decorating part. I just pinched myself. I don't want to do that. Okay. So we're going to bring in a piece of scratch paper. Piece of red paper. Wow, I did a good job. Alright, I got a bunch of pieces here. They're all falling all over. And we're going to bring in the Poppy stamp set, painted poppies. We're going to use this one to stamp on a piece of Poppy Parade paper, which is 2 3/4 by 4. We're going to take the Poppy stamp, and I have a Poppy Parade ink pad. We're going to stamp. Oh, wait a minute. I think I'm going the wrong direction. Let's flip it over. It needs to go this way, because it's going to go on this flap here. So up towards the top here, we're going to stamp those poppies. Okay, and then we're going to come in with the Memento ink, and we're going to stamp the happy birthday. And where did I get that out of? Okay, I'm going to pause this. Okay, the sentiment is from Sending You Thoughts. I'm going to be using With a Great Big Wish for Happiness and Happy Birthday, both of those. So let's get the happy birthday one. That gets stamped onto here. Block. And the Memento ink. Goodness, I've got little bits of hair everywhere. If it's not me shedding, it's my dog. You want to stamp it a little bit closer to this side, but on top of those poppies. Okay. Alright, now that's going to get adhered to this panel here, so you can go ahead and do that now if you wish. You want to make sure when you adhere it that this edge is all the way to this edge. And the only reason for that is then you guarantee that it's going to fit within your window. Come on. You don't want it to go over that fold though. Alright. Check and make sure it's going to fit in there. See? Okay. Could have probably stamped it a little bit lower. I probably recommend you like marking where the circle's going to be in stamping, but that works. Okay. Now on this piece, we're going to go ahead and stamp directly onto it with, oh, I've got too many stamp sets out all of a sudden. This one here. Alright, where did my other block go? I don't know where all my blocks are. And that's going to get stamped with the Memento ink. Right there. And we're going to flap this over. I guess it doesn't matter. We're going to color that with the blends. So I have the Poppy Parade, and then I have the light Mossy Meadow. So I'm just going to color the whole poppy with the light. And don't try to get the whole thing colored. It's fine to leave a little white space. And I'm going to come back with the dark one. I'm just going to add a little bit of dark down here at the bottom. A couple spaces. And I'm just going to kind of blend those two in a little bit. And I'm going to come in with the dark one and the finer tip, and I'm going to color in the stems. And I'm going to color that leaf in. Here's probably in the picture again. Okay, it's alright if it bleeds through, because you're not going to see that. It's going to be in the back of the card. Okay, so there's that piece. Okay, now we need to cover this piece. So I have a piece of Designer Series paper. What did I do with it? Ah, right here. Okay, and this is 4 by 4 inches. I'm going to go ahead and adhere it right to the card, and then I'm going to come back with the punch and punch that out. So I'm going to put my glue only around the edges, and then I'm going to put a little bit of glue here. Oops, make sure it's right side up. So that hides that. All you see is those two little bits, and I don't think that's a problem. Now we're going to come back in with our 2-inch punch. Line that up. And punch. And that's how you could do, if you, instead of doing both layers at once, you could do that. Like punch the one layer, close the card, punch the second layer. Okay, so that's the basic, that part of the card. Okay, now we've got to do this part here. So what I'm going to do is this piece that we punched out here, I'm going to place it in there so I have an idea where I need to stamp. And I'm going to come in with a pencil. Where'd my pencil go? Come on. And I'm just going to mark just a little tiny bit outside of that circle so that I see where I need to stamp. And then we're going to stamp the inside of that card. And again, I'm going to come in with this flower. And the poppy braiding. And I'm going to stamp that. I'm going to get my other sentiment with a great big wish for happiness. Mount that on the... Now I cut mine in half because I wanted to use just part of it. So sorry, see, but it just pieces together. And then it works just fine. Whoops, I don't want red. I want the black ink. And I know it has to go in that circle. Perfect. Okay. Now you can erase those lines, but you're really not going to see them. But I'll come in with an eraser. Erase those lines. I can't even see the other one, so... Alright. Now we're going to do the front of the card. Bring in a piece of the paper that was left from before. And we're going to come in with a poppy. Let's see, I don't know if those are big enough. I feel all discombobulated. There they are. We're going to stamp this one. I'm going to stamp that poppy once with the black ink. It's not the best stamped image. Let's see if we can do that again. Much better. I'll bring in another scratch piece. I'm going to bring in this poppy here. I'm going to stamp one of those. Beautiful. And then we're going to stamp a couple of these leaves. Maybe 5. Let's see how many we can get. Oops, don't rock it. Beautiful. Okay. Now we're going to come in with this splotch here. Actually, I need this one, don't I? This one. We're going to use the poppy ink. We're going to kind of line it up over that. And we're going to stamp. And we're going to stamp, like, hop around it. Okay, we're going to do the same thing for this smaller one. This one you don't have to hop because it covers the whole thing. Okay, and then we're going to wash this off. Chamois here. you know what? Let me bring in this little splotchy. Let's try this one. We're going to bring in the green ink. And I'm going to use Old Olive. And I'm just going to stamp it on and then hop around to kind of fill in that leaf. Okay. You could color them in with the blends if you'd rather, so that they all match, but this just is a little bit faster. Then I'm going to take the matching dies that comes with it. I'm going to line them up and run them through my die cutting machine. While I'm at it, I'm going to take this die and I'm going to cut it out with black, and I will be right back. Okay, I've got those pieces cut out. What did I do with my card? Okay, I got all the pieces cut out. Okay, so now on this piece, I'm going to come in with my 2-inch circle punch, and right in the center of it, if you can get it in there. Actually, let's take a Post-it and do it that way. Use a little handle on it. Stick it in there. You're going to punch this 2-inch circle right in the center of it. It doesn't give you much room. It really is very tight. See, it doesn't give you... I actually cut some of that off. That worked much better the first time around, but we're going to fix that anyway, so it's fine. Okay. We have another piece of black. We're going to come in and we're going to cut it's just a scrap. We're going to cut the 2-inch circle out. I'm going to need 3 of these. And then we're going to come back in with the 2 1/4-inch circle punch. We're going to center that 2-inch circle in the middle of it. And punch. Okay. I also have a piece of a designer series paper, and this is 2 1/4 by 4 inches. This is going to get glued right here on the outside. So let's go ahead and do that. Kind of center it on these 3 sides here. Okay, this little piece is going to get glued around this window. Okay, so we want it to be like that. So let's just put a little teeny tiny dabs of glue, like almost none. Like I'm just squeezing a little glue out and just rubbing the end of that onto it. Like not really putting a lot of glue at all. Very little. Okay, and we're going to glue that down over that circle. It's going to frame that circle out. We're going to take one of these circles that we just punched. We're going to center that up on top of that. Okay. I'm going to take one of these other circles. I'm going to put it here. I need to punch one more. I need to get another piece of black paper out because I forgot I needed 3. I thought I was thinking I only needed 2. And then we'll cut another one to glue here. Okay. And then we're going to decorate the front. We're going to put our poppy here, another one here, and then we're going to add our leaves. Now we could add ribbon. If we wanted to hide that seam a little bit better, I don't even think you hardly notice it, but let's go ahead and try. This is that crinkled seam binding. It's really pretty. Snips for the ribbon. These aren't even good anymore. This used to be my good scissors. Okay, then we'll make sure that's where we want it here. And then we'll glue these poppies on over the top. And it'll go here. This one will go here. Bring in those leaves. One more leaf here. There we go. Alright. Piece of black. Punch for 2-inch. There we go. Almost didn't get in far enough. I think we can make it work. Put that here. And there's our card. See how much smoother that opens? This is the original. It catches there, and you kind of gotta work it to open all the way. I mean, it works, but if you open it wrong, it catches there. For some reason, I got glue all over the front of this. This sequin didn't stay put. Well, there you go. There's a card I made previously. This one I did colored with the Stampin' Blends. And this one I just did with the stamping. Well, thank you so much for joining me at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you can find some time to play with some stamps, inks, and paper.